Welcome to Keiser Voices, the story of success, brought to you by Keiser University Graduate School, here where the academic world meets personal triumph. Join us today as we dive into the captivating tales of success.
All right, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Donald DeSormoux. I'm one of the academic deans with the graduate school at Keiser University in Fort Lauderdale. Today we're going to be having a good panel discussion. We're going to be speaking about the evolution of payment technologies and the significant impact on consumer behavior. Not only just the retail and online commerce, but really just fintech in general and some of the trends and things that we're seeing. And hopefully this will be a great, exciting conversation. And we have a unique panel here of faculty members from Keiser University Graduate School. I will start with Dr. Owusu. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, how you doing? My name is Dr. Owusu, and I'm actually in a program for fintech as well as the MBA program, and I have a doctorate in information systems and communications and a master's in internet information systems, as well as a bachelor's in information science.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Dr. Roberts.
Thanks, Dr. DeSormoux. Sorry about that. I had an issue getting off mute there for a moment. But my name is Dr. Kenny Roberts. I have a PhD in finance. I've got an MBA specializing in financial management. I've been working in the finance, investments, and fintech field for the last 15 years or so. Been teaching with Keiser University in the graduate school for about a little over a year now, and am very much looking forward to talking about our topic today.
Excellent. Thank you. And Dr. Kramer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Kramer. I'm currently working for the FinTech department at Keiser Graduate School, and I'm also working on the side of the MBA. And my doctorate's in computer science, and my master's is an executive MBA.
Perfect. Excellent. So as you can see here, we have a great avenue of talents here that can talk about the industry and where we're currently at. And in general, the FinTech program at Keiser University is just about to be a year old or so. So we are excited about the growth of the industry. And leading into our first question of the day, we'll start with Dr. Owusu. How do emerging payment technologies such as digital wallets, cryptocurrency, and biometric authentication influence customer trust and security parameters in online transactions? What do you think about that?
Okay. Nowadays, first let's look at technology and how technology is really evolving. And when we look at the stands of financial technology, where we put two finance coupled with technology to enhance the process of payments and various things of that nature. When we looked at cryptocurrency, now it allows for the digital transformation of money, and it plays a good and important role. But there are issues also when we talk about security with that. So at the end of the day, a lot of people, when we talk about even from a security standpoint of those type of payments, it's easy to move money around. And so now the government looks at it as regulations that need to be started and various things of that nature. But it is important in this industry as we grow in this fintech.
Definitely. And Dr. Roberts, from the financial side, with the banking industry and such, are the banking industries, have they been experiencing any downside when it comes to cryptocurrency and these digital wallets and just regular accounts that maybe customers may have had in the past as it relates to some of the digital evolving technologies with Apple Pay and all these other things that are out there, Google Pay and Zelle. We have all these different things that are used today. Is there anything in particular that you think is highlighted from the banking industry at all?
Yeah, I think by and large, the banking industry has been trying to catch up to the emerging technologies that we see coming on the scene. As you mentioned, we've got things like Zelle, Apple Pay, Google Pay. We even have things like, Venmo, PayPal. PayPal was all the way back, PayPal's been in the game for quite a while, and they've been kind of on the leading edge of a lot of this. Especially in what's often referred to as the shadow banking industry, or the non-banking industry. So there's been a lot of regulatory, not necessarily hurdles, but just new regulatory policies that have had to be written on the fly and kind of in an ad hoc basis, kind of adjusted as we go, because what we're seeing is an explosion of accessibility to the way that we have access to moving funds. So it's definitely been a revolution in as much that a lot of the talk right now in the news and the various media outlets is AI and things like that, but there's really been just as much of an explosion of new technologies in the fintech industry. In addition, in part due to artificial intelligence initiatives, but like you said, because of the change in how we have the ability to process payments, there's been a lot of new technologies. And I think there's going to continue to be a lot of new technologies that continue to emerge over the next 5 years.
Definitely. And many individuals talk about these contactless payments, there's popularity is just on the rise with them in general, and there's so much just coming in. And as Dr. Owusu alluded to, how do you regulate some of these things, and how do we begin to push things in the right direction? Dr. Kramer, what about retailers? Do you think they're taking advantage of these with these customers, or do you think there's potential concerns of different types of retails and things that they're trying to provide to consumers? How is that working so far, and what trends have you seen in that area?
Very good question. So in reference to the retail industry, a lot of them are transitioning into the digital realm. So like Temu, for example, a lot of people go for them for third parties, as well as people who use in Zelle, PayPal, like they were the leading edge. So artificial intelligence kind of helps these organizations today to use proper encryption to validate, did you really make this transaction? So here's a real example. Recently, Facebook had what we call malware. So a lot of people got hacked into it. So a lot of people were receiving these automated charges coming out of their account. And so the bank would automatically provide an alert saying, okay, this is malware. So that makes it really sufficient in validating that the person did not make the transaction. So AI, AGI really helps with the markets of today. So a lot of people who were used to go to the brick and mortar like malls and things now are going into the online like Amazon. So Amazon has a lot of encryption. Some places use biometrics. Some people use like PayPal is really good in this regards of validating, did you make the transaction, watching things in real time. So this makes things a lot more secure when customers make a purchase. They don't have to worry about losing a lot amount of money like they had in the past. I think now we do have to really watch for encryption. We really do have to watch for cybersecurity. But with the technology we have today, it helps to prevent a lot of the fraud that happens. So that makes it a lot easier for consumers to have more peace of mind.
I wanted to jump in there as well too. Good points that you made. One of the things that you said in reference to, let's just say, Facebook. Facebook, they have they have a messenger where you can actually send money to people based on that. I traveled. I went to go see my mother in Ghana, and when I went to go see my mother in Ghana, I realized that she was sending money to other people that's in my family through what we call Momo, where you basically you put money on somebody's phone, and then you can and they can receive money that way. So I look at it as this: the we used to have a digital divide, and now with technology and these type of payments, people are able to send money and do various things and make payments online. A lot of people, let's just look at in the third world country, they don't have bank accounts. And with these technologies that's coming in place, they're still able to get some sort of funding and resources and things of that nature, based on fintech, financial technology. A lot of companies are starting up. They're starting up in the front end, because at the end of the day, that's where the money is at, not in the back end. So we have, crowdfunding, we have robot advising and different things that makes it cheaper for people to utilize those type of service than going into a bank. Give you an example. I haven't been in a bank in a long time. We don't need to do that anymore. Why? Because everything is done through technology. If I receive a check, I'm able to process that check through my phone. If I want to do whatever it is necessary, unless I want to get cash, and then I can actually use the ATM, right? So I really don't have to go inside a physical bank. So there is various ways, and when we look at financial technology and big data and various things of that nature, is evolving.
Definitely excellent points there, and those trends are certainly in there, and those are great examples. Kind of with that being said, since it's become so accessible and so easy for this, how does the consumer protect themselves against a little bit of fraud? Because if anybody can post something on the internet, right? So if I set up a web page and I'm trying to host a business and I have it up there and I'm selling something, but I'm really not selling it, I just take your money and run, right? And the website's down the next day. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of areas of concern like that that's happening. I mean, where do we allow more flexibility for tracking these informations? Obviously, we have our bank accounts where we can say, okay, yes, I did, I approved this purchase, but I never got it from the merchant, and now the website's down. I kind of got conned, whatever it could be, right? How do we control that? Because when you're bringing in these other methods of payment, like Zelle or PayPal and all these other things, if you're using Venmo or these other different substances, are they going to protect you just as good as the bank industry would from something like that if you kind of fell into a misrepresentation? And anybody can jump in here, just kind of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, there's a lot there, and I think we try to. That's where I think financial literacy comes into play a lot, and we've got these new technologies like my colleagues had mentioned. We've got to teach whereas financial literacy in the past was, this is a checking account, this is a savings account, this is your 401k. Now we need to teach things like, if you're going to be conducting financial operations on your smart device, don't do it on public Wi-Fi. Any of these technologies, although they may communicate some via email, they're not going to send you an email and say, hey, click here to access your account right now. Checking URLs, the web addresses, and if they are HTTPS, that is or more importantly, if they're not, if it's just HTTP, that's a red flag because it should be an encrypted web address. So just teaching things like this, in addition to what we have traditionally taught in financial literacy, I think goes a long way. And just being mindful of the fact that, look for these common things, spelling errors, punctuation issues. If you're getting an email, the best thing that you can always do is, even though we are, as we've mentioned, getting to the point where we don't have to interact with another human being, if you've got a question, there's a customer service phone number, call them up and just double check, take that extra step to protect yourself, because the scammers are everywhere. and they are taking advantage of these new technologies and the financial illiteracy that exists around many of these technologies.
Excellent, excellent. One thing I want to jump in there and talk about too is, we have these two-way factor authentication security measures as well too. So I'll give you an example. If I was to send money through my account, they basically send me a text letting me know that this money is actually going to be sent, and I can actually approve it or not approve it. So there are some security measures. And when we talk about different going online or using your phone, a lot of payments are used through our phones now these days because we utilize our phones daily. We have it on us at all times. So with that being said, there are apps, and I would say that utilizing the apps that the company actually give you instead of going on the website, it's more secure than just going on a website. So when you're using your phone, there are various security measures, phishing attacks, and various things that we could look at in scams that will not run away, would continue to enhance because technology is enhancing. And remember, when we talk about technology, is somebody that created it, so there's a loophole always behind it. And with that being said, one has to be mindful of things that's happening and be up to date and up to par with it.
And I would like to add that with the advancing of technology like AGI, which is the artificial general intelligence, and liquid AI, they can harness through various applications to protect customers from making purchases in a fintech environment. For example, fraud detection and prevention apps, AGI and liquid AI can power fraud detection and prevention applications that can continuously analyze transaction data in real time. So these apps can detect patterns that indicative of fraudulent activity, such as unusual spending patterns, geographic anomalies, or suspicious behavior. And they can also do biometric authentication apps. So AGI and Liquid AI can enable biometric authentication apps that can use advanced biometric recognition techniques such as facial recognition, fingerprint scanning, voice recognition to verify the customer's identities during the purchase process. So these apps can enhance security by verifying, reducing the risk of unauthorized transactions and identity theft.
Definitely excellent, because the biometric, authentication, I think we're seeing that a lot in different things that we're doing when we're traveling. If you've gone to, theme parks, even Disney, Universal, all these individuals are harnessing these technologies, whether it's facial recognition or fingerprint scanning, different ways that you can utilize tools and codes that are given to you, to really enhance that just a password, right? Or just, and that, like Dr. Russo also mentioned, that two-way authentication. How do we leverage that technology to protect ourselves when we're shopping or when we're trying to find what we're looking for? And there's a lot of different options out there with the QR code transactions, those payment methods. It's so much easier now to shop and get what you need in the way that works for you, right? On all these different methods that are available. And so with that being said, we do have a lot going on in the industry. Is there a top trend that you think is going to be able to expand within the next couple of years that is going to take this what we're seeing now to improve that financial literacy that everybody is kind of impacting on, but what trend is out there that we think is just going to kind of leverage the industry even more? Is there anything in particular that you think in the next couple of years we're going to see a lot of growth in?
I would say the Internet of Things when it comes to finance. I mean, to the standpoint of we have all moving devices and various things that's going on, even our cars, right? is a big technology from the standpoint of now from insurance companies, they can track to see how well you're driving and then give you, and then you can actually get incentives based on that and things of that nature. So when we talk about finance, it's evolving with technology, and it's always going to be something new that's coming out, and we have to make sure that we evolve with it.
And I think also, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, in addition to what Dr. Owusu was saying about the data aspect of that, maybe just think of the data analytics portion of it and how merchants and vendors can leverage because since we are utilizing fintech to make these payments, they now have access to more data than they did previously if we were just swiping our card or writing a check or paying with cash. So I think we're going to see even more increases in efficiency, product placement, and things like that. Now, how does that affect the consumer? Not necessarily as much as just being aware of how we can, as entrepreneurs and trying to make our students more prepared for industry. Organizations are going to be looking for individuals with these qualifications and these capabilities to carry out these functions within the organization.
Yes, I would agree. And as Dr. Kramer was alluding to with generative AI, it's just, and big data, like you guys have said. I mean, I've already see the trends just keep, just for me in general, when I'm browsing or on my phone or I'm on social media, if I search for something, I'm seeing it continuously pop up with all these feeds from all these different vendors over and over for, a 2-week cycle. And even if I, speak about something, if I have that feature on, it's like they know exactly what I'm thinking, right? And they're trying to tackle me as the consumer and give me what I'm looking for, even if I may not be looking for it, right? So there's ways that we can enhance our security measures to turn off some of those features. But I only think that, with subscription-based models, they just made it so much easier with innovative pay strategies. I mean, breaking down easy payments to tackle all sorts of consumers, saying, all right, only $15 a month, for the next 6 months to get what you need. I mean, it's like it's speaking a language that is so accessible to everybody that I think that the industry is only going to continue to get larger, and consumers are going to be able to get what they want in a timely manner. But are we really seeing the efficient ways that the industry is going to have, right? Or are we doing more impulse buying that we shouldn't? Do we really need it? How much do we want it? And things of that nature. Versus before, if we didn't have the money for something, we would wait. We'd look at layaway, we look at old things. There's all sorts of things that we would put into place and we would save. And now, we'd apply for credit cards, to open up zero interest. And it's like now that's not even a part of it. And some are running credit and some are not. So, I mean, I don't know where the industry is going to take us in regards to that. But it sounds like, we're only going to grow in the industry. So with those closing remarks, the three of you have anything else you would like to add to the topic today?
Outside of what's been mentioned, I do not.
I do not also.
I do not also.
Excellent. So what an exciting conversation to learn a little bit more about the industry today. It was thankful for your guys' time today for this, and we appreciate it. And hopefully, if you're watching this, you could take a look at the Masters in FinTech online to see if the program interests you as well.
Thank you for journeying with us today on Keiser Voices, the Story of Success. As we close this chapter, remember, every story has its next page.